Following video is not made for kids. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello to my subscribers, this is the TFangy coming to you with a review of the Transformers Cybertron Trilogy Kingdom Deluxe Class Scorponok, or Predacon Scorponok, or Beast Wars Scorponok as he is known. Scorponok is one of the characters from the Beast Wars franchise who infamously has the exact same name as a Generation 1 Transformers character despite being a completely separate character from the G1 version. This is true also with Beast Wars Megatron, comparing him to Generation 1 Megatron. Recently in the Transformers War for Cybertron Trilogy series that was released on Netflix, Generation 1 Scorponok appeared in the Earthrise Ice series, and he was last seen falling into a state of insanity aboard a space station. And Beast Wars Scorponok, when he appeared in the Kingdom series, it was shown that unlike the original Beast Wars cartoon series, where Scorponok was just one character, the Beast Wars version of Scorponok was actually a horde of Predacons that were acted like the Predacon foot soldiers for Beast Wars Megatron. So the Kingdom Scorponok figure has been somewhat hard to find due to a few collectors wanting to army bill held Scorponok to replicate the scenes in the Netflix Kingdom series in which more than one copy version of him was walking around. And Scorponok was one of the more interesting characters introduced in Transformers Beast Wars. It was revealed that he was second in command to the Predacons after Beast Wars Megatron due to his undying loyalty to the Predacon tyrant. But unfortunately, Scorponok proved to not be as popular of a Transformers character compared to the other Predacons, and at the end of the first season of Transformers Beast Wars, Scorponok, along with Pterosaur, accidentally fell into a pool of lava and did not survive. They were never seen again. And so, Beast Wars Scorponok has had somewhat of an interesting history. So, there he is inside his box. Here on the artwork, you got him in his alternate mode, or beast mode, of an actual scorpion, not like Generation 1 Scorponok, which was a mechanical scorpion. And here is Scorponok in his robot mode, and he comes with a gimmick that he used, I believe, just one time in one episode of the Beast Wars cartoon series, in which he uses a insect-type weapon that can attach to his enemies and can force them to obey his control. So that's a pretty freaky gimmick of Scorponok to possess. Here on top of the box, Scorponok is a Predacon, and Beast Wars Scorponok is the 23rd Transformers figure that's been released in the Kingdom line. On this side of the box, you got the poster image for the Kingdom line. There's the bottom of the box. On the back, you've got the product photos. You've got Beast Wars Scorponok in his robot mode, and that insect bomb. I can't remember what the actual name of it is, if it was known as the fly or the bee or the bug or insect, but you get the idea. Yeah, it is a separate piece that you can detach from Scorponok and reattach it to another Transformers character, so you can reenact the episode of the Beast Wars series in which he used that. And here he is in his Scorpion mode, and Scorponok transforms back and forth between both modes in 24 steps. Now, for those of you who've watched the Transformers Beast Wars cartoon series, you know that the face sculpt here on Scorponok's Scorpion mode, it doesn't look a thing like Scorponok's animation model from the Beast Wars cartoon series. You can even see it here on the artwork on the front of the box. And unfortunately, that has to do with the fact that Hasbro and Takara have been trying to give the Transformers Beast Wars characters, the Beast modes at least, Hasbro and Takara have been trying to go for a real-life representation for it. So, rather than following the animation models of the characters, Hasbro and Takara have been designing the Beast modes of the Transformers Beast Wars characters as they actually appear in real life. That's because Hasbro and Takara haven't been able to get registered trademarks for the vehicles that the Generation 1 Transformers characters originally transformed into, and all of the Generation 1 characters, not just in Kingdom, but in the War for Cybertron Trilogy, they turn into stylized versions of realistic cars, not miniature versions of actual models, due to Hasbro and Takara wanting to not pay out the companies who have registered trademarks on those vehicles. But for the Transformers Beast Wars characters, nobody has laid claim nobody's tried to get a registered trademark or a copyright claim on species of animals. So, with trademark restrictions uh, not really affecting the designs of the Transformers Beast Wars characters, that's one of the main reasons why Hasbro and Takara Tomy have decided to give the Beast Wars characters a more realistic look. But yes, all in all, I am pretty impressed with how the Kingdom version of Beast Wars Scorponok turned out. On that note, Beast Wars Scorponok has been kind of a letdown with Transformers fans and collectors. This is due to the fact that his scorpion legs are hollowed out. You can see right there in the product photos. The scorpion legs are hollowed out and they're very fragile. So if you're not too careful with Beast Wars Scorponok, you could break one of his scorpion legs. And there's also the blatant fact you can't really see it while Scorponok's still inside his box. Scorponok is one of the smallest deluxe class figures of the Kingdom line. He's not the very small list of the War for Cybertron Trilogy, but he is definitely right there among the smaller deluxe class sized figures. There are definitely a lot more Transformers deluxe class figures that are taller than Kingdom Beast Wars Scorponok versus ones that are shorter than him. But I do love the design of his robot mode and how the paint job does look quite similar not only to Scorponok's appearance in the Netflix series but also in the original Beast Wars cartoon. So without further delay, let's get Scorponok out of his box and take a close look at him in robot mode. Alright, and here is Scorponok out of his box and transformed into his robot mode. And even at his full height, when you have his legs splayed like this, Scorponok again is one of the smallest deluxe class figures in the Transformers Kingdom line and in the War for Cybertron trilogy in general. Most of Scorponok's bulk ends up going in his scorpion tail and also his scorpion claws, which double as his robot mode hands. And but one nice thing about these claws is that depending on how you pose them, if you can get them to, I don't know how well you could hear that, but depending on which sides of the claws you open and shut, you can sort of mimic the snapping noise that Scorponok made with his claws in the Beast Wars cartoon series. But yes, I really enjoy how Scorponok's robot mode came out, and again, just to show how small Scorponok is, for size comparison with an average size, with an deluxe class figure from the Kingdom line that's considered an average size. Here is Beast Wars Scorponok next to Paleotrix, and even though I have them standing up in the air, this is how they would be standing next to each other if they were on a flat surface. So yes, Scorponok is unfortunately one of the smallest deluxe class Transformers figures, but I can overlook Scorponok's small size due to how much he looks like in robot mode more than alt mode, how he looks like his animation model from the Beast Wars series. Here he's not just the design of the robot mode, but his paint job. And I love the gimmick of the weapons that he can shoot out of his scorpion claw. That was a gimmick he possessed in the Beast Wars cartoon series. And if you do want Scorponok to be a little tall, just a tiny bit taller, you can pose him with his tail like this with the scorpion stinger sitting above his head. I believe that half the time in the Beast Wars cartoon series, when Scorponok transformed into his robot mode, the stinger was sitting above his head, so if any enemies got too close, he'd reach out with his tail from behind and sting them into submission. Out of the box, I'm noticing that this claw wants to not open up as wide as the other one. But yeah, I do overall enjoy the design of Scorponok. I won't go into his articulation too much because, unfortunately, half of Scorponok's joints are hindered by the fact that he has his scorpion legs and the scorpion tail sitting here on his back, acting as a backpack, although it actually feels more like a jumbled mess than an actual backpack. And this is where Scorponok fails to be an impressive Transformers action figure is right here. all of his scorpion legs, in addition to already being very thin and small plastic bits, they're all hollowed out. And the most disappointing part of Scorponok is here on the back of him. The main section of Scorponok's tail is hollowed out. It's not just that section. The top half of the tail is hollowed out plastic as well. But it's not just those. Right here on the back of his legs, Scorponok's legs are hollowed out. So Scorponok does feel lightweight compared to other deluxe class Transformers due to having all of these hollowed out parts. So yeah, it is a tad unfortunate, but Scorponok most definitely is on the fragile side, especially with his scorpion legs. I've heard stories where these legs have snapped off and are shattered apart due to collectors not being too careful with them. So yeah, just when you're holding on to Scorponok, as I just drop him on camera to see, make sure you're extra careful with those scorpion legs because they are quite fragile. So for articulation, Scorponok's head is on a ball joint, so he can look left and right 360 degrees. He can look up and down just a tiny amount. He does technically have a waist sole joint, but the tail gets in the way of that. And you can rotate his arms forwards and backwards 360 degrees. Just make sure you have the scorpion legs moved out of the way. He's got sole joints in the bicep, hinged elbows, although fresh out of the box, those hinge joints at the elbows are very thick. He can rotate his claw hands at the wrist, 360 degrees, but I don't know if that's more of a transformation joint or not. And of course, he can open his hands to reveal his weapons inside. He does have a silver jointed hips, but fresh out of the box, they're a little tight. Hinged knees, and he does have ankle rockers, and that feet can also go up and down at the toe. But again, I don't know if that's a transformation joint or not. But yeah, all in all, despite his small size, I think Scorponok turned out pretty fantastic looking. It's rumored that it's been confirmed that we are going to be getting a deluxe class-sized action figure of the Beast Wars character Tarantulas in the Transformers Legacy line next year in 2020. But it's unknown at this point if Tarantulas is going to be a new mold or if he's going to be mold mates with one of the Transformers action figures that was in fact released in the Kingdom line. Transformers collectors have been debating if Tarantulas is not a new mold and he is a retool of a previously released Transformers action figure. There's a lot of speculation that Scorponok could be the Transformers action figure that gets repainted and retooled into Tarantulas. But yeah, all in all, despite his small stature, Beast Wars Scorponok does look pretty impressive looking. And yeah, I do not regret at buying him and adding him to my Transformers collection. And I don't know how popular Scorponok is compared to other Predacons from the Beast Wars series, but I personally enjoy Beast Wars Scorponok. I've always found him highly annoying and highly irritating, and I just love how throughout the first season of Transformers Beast Wars, Scorponok tried to be as menacing as he could, but he just couldn't quite pull it off the way Megatron did. And so without further delay, let's get Scorponok transformed into his beast mode and wrap up the review. Alright, and here is Scorponok transformed into his Scorpion mode, and I gotta say, I am pretty impressed with it. The only major gripe I have here is how one of Scorponok's robot mode feet is hanging off down the bottom of it. And I'd forgotten when I was mentioning this in his, when he was in robot mode a moment ago, but the main reason why Scorponok's tail is hollowed out is because one of his robot mode legs ends up forming the bottom base of the tail. So that's a good enough reason for me to have the tail hollowed out the way it is. So I think I might have missed a step in the transformation. I did. So no, I didn't. It's supposed to be like that. So one thing about Scorponok, this is true of the original Beast Wars action figure, is that his Scorpion mode claws / robot mode hands and they don't really change too much because it's the exact same claws in both modes. But I do enjoy those weapon accessories hiding in there that Scorponok can use. Um, Scorponok's scorpion head does click here into the base of the neck, and unfortunately, depending on how you have Scorponok positioned, like if you have him with his body parallel to the ground, it does look like he's looking upward slightly in Scorpion mode. You don't have to fully have it add into place. You can leave it bent down slightly to make Scorponok look like he's looking forward a little more, but unfortunately, you do end up creating a gap right there. So that is a little bit of a letdown, but I can easily overlook it. So, here is Scorponok's scorpion legs. The two middle eggs aren't just one piece. As you can see here, they're held together by ball joints, and again, they're pencil thin and very hollowed out. So, be very careful with Scorponok's scorpion legs because those are very fragile pieces. And lastly, the main feature of Scorponok besides his claws in Scorpion mode is the tail. Unfortunately, because of how the robot mode leg forms the back of the tail, pretty much the only articulation in the tail you get is the topmost piece and, of course, the stinger. So if you want to extend it all the way out like that, you can. And if you want Scorponok to have his tail completely curled up, which most of the time most scorpions do have their tails with the stinger curled up like this. And if you want a Scorponok's stinger to be stretched far outward, that's pretty much the farthest it will go in Scorpion mode. But yes, all in all, I do enjoy how Scorponok turned out. And I just love how incredible looking his Scorpion mode is. Unpopular opinion, but I actually enjoy the realistic look that the designers at Hasbro Tomy gave Scorponok's Scorpion mode. So pretty much other than the stinger tail, the best articulation with Scorponok is in his claw. As I had them in a forward-facing position a moment ago, but you can position them, and just like Scorponok's tail, you can position his claws however you want. If you want them spread out a little farther, you can. And most times, most species of scorpion do have their claws at this angle like this. It's in order to help them hunt potential prey. I thought was the reason for that. So yeah, all in all I do enjoy Scorponok. I do recommend you get him. I do not recommend paying more than retail price for Scorponok. Scorponok has been released twice in the Kingdom line, first in Wave 2 and then again in Wave 4. So yes, if you do decide you want to army build Scorponok, then I do recommend you do. But again, the only major gripe I have with Scorponok is how fragile his scorpion legs are. If you can, try to avoid touching those when Scorponok is in his scorpion mode. But yes, overall, I do enjoy how he came out, and I'm just thrilled to finally have a action figure of Beast Wars Scorponok in my Transformers collection. So thank you guys so much for watching the video. This has been the TFN Geek, and I do recommend you get the Kingdom Beast Wars Scorponok figure if you find him. And if you want an army build Scorponok, I don't recommend getting up to 8 copies of him. 8 copies seems too much, even though that's how many copies of Scorponok appeared in the one screenshot of the Transformers Kingdom series on Netflix. But yeah, overall, I do highly recommend you get the figure if you can. And until next time, you guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and until next time, transform and roll out. Goodbye, everyone.